Hi, I'm Marion Von Beck. I've been a member of TVUUC since the 70s. Our church has always been there for me when I needed it, and I want that to continue for others in the future. Since I cannot give large amounts to the endowment fund, I've looked for ways to give lesser amounts, such as for memorials, during Endowment Fund Month, and as an addition to my annual pledge. I firmly believe that every little bit helps, and many little bits add up to a lot.
Hello everybody, my name is David Massey, and I'm the chair of the TVUUC Endowment Fund Committee. Each spring, our congregation adopts a budget that funds our programs, compensates our church staff, and pays the light bill. This annual operating budget is supported primarily by our annual pledges of financial support. But for the long term, for the future of TVUUC, we have the Endowment Fund, which was created to provide permanent financial security for our church community. Thanks to donations over many years and a prudent investment strategy, the Endowment Fund is now large enough for us to spend not the principal, but a portion of the earnings on special projects that are beyond the scope of the annual operating budget. Projects like the video production equipment that was needed last spring to begin producing these online Sunday services. You can see more endowment-funded projects and learn how to give to the Endowment Fund on the TVUUC website. Just click on the Give tab and then go to the Endowment Fund pages. October is Endowment Month, when we thank those who have helped build the Endowment Fund. When you visit the website, you will see not only the names of donors, but also the names of those they have honored or memorialized with their gifts. We are so grateful for the 35 households who have donated to the endowment fund since 2015. But what if there were 70 contributing households? How much more could we accomplish as a church, both now and decades from now? So, during this pandemic, our fundraising goal is not a dollar amount. Instead, our challenge to the congregation is this. By the end of the year, let's add 35 new donors to the endowment fund. We can do this because Marion von Beck is right. Every little bit helps, and many bits add up to a lot. Please give what you can and do your bit for the future of TVUUC. Thank you.
Come hoof and trunk and tail and horn and paw and wing and claw, come bird and reptile, mammal born, all full of nature's law. Bring bark and crow and ribbit too, and silent stare and hiss. Bring purr and trill and warble too, and voice no ear can miss. We gather here, each life and all, to celebrate and sing, to honor creatures large and small. 'Tis holiness we bring.
Shalom Hallel, Shalom Hallel, Shalom, Shalom. Lahitlayot, Lahitlayot, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Habarim, Shalom Habarim, Shalom Habarim, Shalom, Shahid Raot, Shalom, Shalom Habarim, Shalom Habarim, Shalom, Shalom, Shahid Raot, Shahid Raot, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Habarim, Shalom Habarim, Shalom, Shahid Raot, Shahid Raot, Shalom, Shalom.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our great covenant.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for their springing fresh from the word. Sweet the praise of the sun from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
I have a story to share with you today by Benji Davies. And it starts with a kid who lived by the sea. Noy lived with his dad and their 6 cats by the sea. And every day his dad left really early in the morning to go for a long day's work on his fishing boat, and he wouldn't be home again till dark. One night a great storm raged around their house. In the morning, Noy walked down to the shore to see what had left behind. And as he walked on the beach, he noticed something in the distance. And as he got closer, Noy couldn't believe his eyes. It was a little whale washed up on the beach. Noy wondered what he should do. He knew it wasn't good for whales to be out of the water. I must be quick, he thought. So he gathered the little whale up onto his wagon and took it home. Noy did everything he could to make the whale feel at home. He told stories about life on the island. The whale was an excellent listener. The night was drawing in and it was growing dark, and Noy was worried that his dad would be angry about having a whale in the tub. Somehow Noy kept the secret safe all evening, and he even managed to sneak some supper up for his whale, but he knew it couldn't last. But you know what? Noy's dad wasn't angry. He had been so busy he hadn't even noticed that Noy was lonely. But he said they must take the whale back to the sea where it belonged. Noy knew it was the right thing to do, but it was hard to say goodbye. He was glad his dad was there with him. Noy often thought about the storm whale, and he hoped that one day soon he would see his friend again. We have many animal friends that touch our lives at different times. Some that live with us in our homes for those of us who have pets, some that we visit that belong to other beloved people, some in the wider world that we visit when we are out in nature or outside. And many of us may have found that animals are very good listeners. I wonder, what are some of the things that you like to talk to your animals about?
Lucy's a very good listener, and she's also a very good dog. I talk to her about how cute she is in the morning. Lucy, come here. And how she should come here. Lucy, come here. I like to say thank you to my pet.
You say thank you?
Down there is my pet hedgehog chickadee, and I just like, even if she can't hear me, I like saying that I love her.
This is my dog Oreo. We share a silent bond through hugs and kisses and licks. She's my cute little dog, and I love her.
And I think our animals often tell us some pretty important things too, even though they may not tell us in words. I wonder, what is it that you have heard when you listen with your heart to the animals that are in your life?
What do your dogs say to you?
Woof.
Woof woof!
It's my dog Baxter, and when I do virtual school, he sits in my bed with me and he makes me calm.
Hi, I'm Tallulah, and this is Rossi, and this one's Curly. Rossi sometimes tells me that he loves me by kind of just laying down in my lap or just flopping on my lap. And I'm not really sure what this one tries to tell us, but I think he tells us that he loves us because he gives us lots of kisses.
When it's quiet, if you try to, you can sort of hear like little squeaking sounds, and that means that she is happy.
So I'm Tiernan, and this cat right here, her name's Clementine. So Clementine loves everybody, and she's a very nice cat. And she hides when she's scared, and she likes belly rubs.
My Lucy dog says a lot that she wants pets and she wants food off the table, and she begs and begs and begs and begs and begs and begs and begs.
Especially in times when there is struggle, when there are things that we can't just fix, but we have to make our way through. Being deeply listened to is healing. And many of us, I think, have found that the animals in our lives are among the very best listeners of all. And so we celebrate the deep heart connections we have with animals within our homes, in others' homes, in the wider world, on this day where we will celebrate a blessing of the animals. May we all find the healing that comes with being seen and heard.
The 10 Commandments for Animals, written by Debbie Watkins. My life is likely to last 10 to 15 years. Any separation from you will be painful for me. Remember that before you adopt me. Give me time to understand what you want from me. Place your trust in me. It's crucial to my well-being. Don't be angry at me for long, and don't lock me up as punishment. You have your work, your entertainment, and your friends. I have only you. Talk to me sometimes. Even if I don't understand your words, I understand your voice. Be aware that however you treat me, I'll never forget. Please don't hit me. I can't hit back, but I can bite and scratch, and I really don't want to do that. Before you scold me for being uncooperative, obstinate, or lazy, ask yourself if something might be bothering me. Perhaps I'm not getting the right food, or I have been in the sun too long, or my heart is getting old and weak. Take care of me when I get old. You too will grow old. Go with me on difficult journeys. Never say I can't bear to watch it, or let it happen in my absence. Everything is easier for me if you are there. Remember, I love you. Joys and concerns. I like to lift up everyone who is suffering through grief, sorrow, sadness. I want them to know they're not alone and that people stand nearby, ready to give comfort. Today we celebrate the joys and concerns of the blessing of the animals. And so I like to read you a prayer. O God, your creatures fill the earth with wonder and delight, and every living thing has worth and beauty in your sight. So playful dolphins dance and swim, your sheep bow down and graze, your songbirds share a morning hymn to offer you their praise. You made the pets we welcome in their wondrous blessings too. With paws and whiskers, wings and fins, they offer praise to you. O Lord, you call us to embrace these animals in our care. May we show kindness, love, and grace to all pets everywhere. You made the creatures on each farm. You know the things they need. May they grow healthy, safe from harm, and safe from human greed. Just as a shepherd loves the sheep, you know their joy, their pain. Lord, bless the animals we keep. May all farm. O Lord, you give us command to love them tenderly. We're called to have dominion here, to care for them always. By loving creatures you hold dear, we offer you our praise. For everyone who has a pet, for everyone who's lost a pet, for everyone who's adopted a pet, for everyone who's purchased a pet, for everyone who feeds that squirrel or those birds or gives that stray cat a meal. Know that you have been blessed by all those who love animals.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Claudia Presley, and I'm the Director of Administration at TVUUC. Today is a Share the Plate Sunday. What that means is that any contributions that come in are split between the general operating budget of TVUUC and the organization for this Sunday. This Sunday's organization is RAM, Remote Area Medical, and you'll be seeing a video from them in just a few minutes. The ways you can give are to go to tvuuc.org/give, or you can text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. Once again, thanks for joining us. Have a blessed day.
A lot of these communities here, they don't get a lot of care that they need. They don't have access to care.
There's so many people out there without insurance that can't afford them, and they need help.
There's a lot of people that's suffering because they can't afford to go to a doctor because they can't afford the insurance.
Without this sort of an event, they wouldn't get the help.
You can't put a price tag on what we're doing in these clinics and the care we're giving and the impact it has on people's lives.
Remote Medical is it's a nonprofit. We travel around and we set up mobile medical clinics. We do these around the country from coast to coast, and we provide all the services at free of cost to the patients that are coming through the doors.
Originally, of course, Remote Area Medical was organized for the purpose of going to third world countries. I found myself in a place in South America called British Guiana, and I was very badly injured. They pulled me out from underneath the horse, and one of them said, well, the nearest doctor is 26 days on foot from here. And so that was really the beginning. Eventually learned to fly an airplane. I was able to fly in medical supplies. Came to the conclusion that maybe we needed to bring the doctors a little bit closer than 26 days on foot. Years later, ended up here in the United States. And to my surprise, I found that there were millions of people that didn't have access to the health care that they needed.
RAM is important because it fills a gap. The need for health care is out there across America, whether you're in Appalachia or whether you're in Los Angeles. We see the same thing from community to community.
We brought it to the community knowing there was a need, but not having any idea how great the need was. It wasn't a question as to whether or not we would bring it back.
These clinics are designed for locals to come through the community. They're able to receive medical, dental, or vision care.
Even though many of them are working, many of them have health insurance, that's an area that's not covered by insurance for many, many policies.
This is wonderful. I mean, to have something like this, to provide the health care that people need, to prevent tooth loss, to prevent breast cancer.
Free health care, totally free, no questions asked.
It's really going to change their lives, and it's going to change their lives in a good way for a long time.
RAM is an opportunity for someone to give back and to take part.
I was so impressed with the first clinic that I went to. I came back a renewed person. I would strongly encourage all medical professionals to consider volunteering. Here you are free to provide medicine and give the very best care you possibly can to people who truly need it.
Even if you have no medical experience, you can come into a medical clinic and provide a service that really touches the lives of people.
What we do, of course, is a very expensive operation. Our support comes mainly from those $10 and $15 donations from the general public.
To get involved, it's actually through our website at ramusa.org. Someone can sign up as a volunteer. Again, they do not need any medical experience.
It's a real privilege to work with Remote Area Medical.
I'd like to invite you to volunteer at future clinics and fund future efforts by going to ramusa.org so together we can make an impact in our communities. And thank you again.
Good morning, friends.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing, no, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. When the sky above you is dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, you just keep your head together, call my name out loud, and soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know? You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know? You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know? You've got a friend.
Hello everybody. I'm coming to you from Cades Cove this morning, where I've gone to flee humanity. It is the morning after the first presidential debates, and I'm here to run away from our toxic politics, to run away from all the anger on the internet, to find peace from all the vitriol and verbal violence of social media. Harry Truman once said that if you want a friend in Washington, D.C., then you better get a dog. And what he said about Washington, D.C. back then seems to be true of every city in America today. If you want a friend, you better get a dog. So if you have a dog or a cat or a goldfish or a ferret or a hedgehog, why don't you bring your animal friends close to you, because this morning is our animal blessing service. Today I am out in the woods because one of the things Abraham Heschel said, Rabbi Abraham Heschel said, is to be is a blessing. Simply to be is a blessing. Simply to live is holy. So I'm here to be with the life that is all around us, the wildlife. I'm keeping my eye out for deer and bear and coyote and other animal creatures, other animal friends that are out in nature. I am here to simply be with the life that is all around us, simply to live and let live and embrace the blessing that is life itself. So why don't we do that together? Because the way I see it, the way the world is going, We could all use a friend. Okay, bye. I was in Cage Cove, but now I'm back at the office because I forgot my notes for this sermon. But I was talking to Duncan Teague this week on the phone, and we were talking about how bad things were in the world, how many terrible things were happening. And he said to me, it just makes me thank God that turtles and trees will outlive us all. And that is an important thing for us to reflect on. There's lots of species of creatures that existed before human beings ever emerged. Turtle, sharks, crabs, all sorts of animals are older than us. Cockroaches. Scientists tell us that cockroaches may be one of the few animals that can survive a thermonuclear war. So cockroaches were here before human beings emerged, and they very well may be here long after we're gone. Theologians speak of God or ultimate reality as the life of life. And at the very least, that means the life that is older than we are, and the life that will continue after we are gone. The life that manifests itself in creatures with feather, fins, and fur, and with scales and skin, all sorts of different kinds of creatures, the two-legged, the four-legged, those that slither, and those that swim. The life of life that manifests itself in all creatures. The theologian Matthew Fox says that we need to move beyond, that spiritual growth means moving beyond being egological to becoming ecological, moving from being egocentric to being ecocentric. Sometimes it takes a picture to capture it. When we are grounded in the ego, it's sort of like we see ourselves as the top of a pyramid. You know, we are the measure of all things. We're on the top. But if we look at things ecological, then we see ourselves as part of the circle of life and the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. So the important thing is for us to move from being egological to being ecological. If the most fundamental spiritual question is what is the meaning of life, then we need to embrace an answer that embraces all of life, the life that was here before human beings emerged and the life that will be here after we are gone, the life of life, all creatures. The life of life that can be found in turtles. Speaking of which, I want to let you see a video I took a few years ago of a turtle that had laid eggs in the sand and was going back to the sea. Let's pause for a little turtle meditation. One of my favorite spiritual books is Warriors of the Rainbow by Robert Hunter. And it's about the origins of the political and ecological movement Greenpeace. Now, Robert Hunter and others were inspired to create this organization, he said, because he felt like ecology needed a navy, Ecology needed an air force. Ecology needed an army. And so they created a navy to help save the whales, and created an air force of helicopters and planes to help save the seals, and created an army of nonviolent protesters to raise a ruckus whenever necessary. And the goal of these armies wasn't about violence. It was about nonviolence. It was about changing consciousness, using the media and using awareness to change people's consciousness. So we shouldn't be too surprised that Greenpeace, many of their earlier meetings were in the basement of a Unitarian church in Vancouver, British Columbia. Because in the Unitarian church, our goal is to change consciousness, to help people think about things differently. Now, one of the spiritual ideas that's important for grounding us in this work is the need to find balance, to move beyond good versus evil, right versus wrong, either or thinking, that binary way of thinking. And here's why. Because Greenpeace worked to save whales, and Greenpeace also worked to save seals. But here's the thing. Whales eat seals. And under the right conditions, seals will eat whales. So this is not about good versus evil or right versus wrong. It's about ecology. It's about finding balance. And this need for balance is not just a political goal. It's not just an ecological goal. It's a spiritual goal. It's the goal to find our own inner equilibrium that helps connect us with all of creation all around us, to find that inner sense of balance that protects us from personal, spiritual, political, and ecological extinction, and helps us to make this a green and peaceful planet. Speaking of green and peaceful planets, let's go back to Cades Cove, where I saw a bear. Now, you're about to see that bear, but no, I wasn't as close to that bear as this image makes it look. I have zoom on my camera. So we're back again in Cades Cove. And one of the great things about wild animals during a pandemic is that they have a tendency to keep their social distance. And although we can't see them, we can assume that this river is filled with fish and snakes and salamanders and other creatures. And so as we gather by a stream, we can meditate on the oneness of life that flows through all of us, through all living things. One world, one people, one hope, one creation. All of us have the breath of life flowing through us. And if we meditate on this oneness in the midst of a world of conflict, and this unity in the midst of a world of diversity, then we can know peace no matter where we live, whether it's Washington, D.C. or Knoxville, Tennessee. We can know oneness, and we can know peace, and we can know wherever we are, we have a friend.
The next song in our service is Meditation on Breathing. It's a song written by Unitarian Universalist musician Sarah Dan Jones. She wrote this as part of a bigger piece shortly after 9/11, as she and all the rest of us were trying to get things together, make sense of what the world now looked like. And it's been sung widely ever since, often in situations where people are trying to make sense out of what doesn't feel sensible, like at a campus gathering after the shooting at Virginia Tech. It's actually sung all over the nation, all over Europe. She's not sure how far it's spread. And it doesn't just fill that role. She also tells the story of the couple who wanted to add goats to their farm and arranged to drive one day to another farm that raised goats, and pick up 2 young goats, 2 kids, loaded them into the back of their vehicle, and as they drove away, these kids, not your naughty children, but little goats, were bleeding miserably because it was their first time away from mother. It was their first time riding in a motor vehicle. The adult human beings in the front seat were not happy with all the noise from the back seat. And finally, in desperation, they began to sing meditation on breathing. And the back seat quieted down. This is an interspecies song, meditation on breathing.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
that sail in heaven along. Hallelujah, hallelujah, their rising morning praise rejoice. High stars of evening find a voice. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Cool flowing water, pure and clear, make music for all life to hear. Hallelujah, hallelujah, dance flame of fire so strong and bright, and bless us with your warmth and light. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
As we leave this sacred space, let us give thanks for all our relations. Furred and hoofed, two-legged, four-legged, many-legged, fanged and clawed, gentle and fierce, wild and tame. May we remember that all animals are our relatives, worthy of our care and respect.
And as you log off your computers and go out into the world, remember to be kind to your neighbors, whether those be human neighbors or animal neighbors. Go in peace.
You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend.